ArmChair GM podcast talking playoffs. Round 1, going into round 2.
So, guys, Johnny Gaudreau can't produce in the playoffs. What's with that?
Not at all. Not at all. It's not like he did anything last night. Like nothing big.
Yeah. Can't remember. Was it a goal and an assist? I don't remember. It was pretty underwhelming.
Yeah, I mean, he only got 8 points in 7 games. Are you kidding me? Those are minor league numbers.
Oh, fuck. Don't you? I hate it when
very
my top producer is on par with his regular season. I tell you what, if it wasn't for regular season Johnny, there wouldn't be any Johnny.
Yeah.
No,
Well,
that's true. There wouldn't be any playoffs either. I mean, there might be, but wouldn't be as likely. There wouldn't be home ice advantage, I'll tell you that much.
but in all seriousness, everyone is asking who's going to be the hero. We got our answer last night. That
Holy
was
shit.
Glorious.
It was wonderful.
You know the best part of that whole sequence? I mean, that's his wheelhouse. He has done that so many fucking times.
Yep.
He loves that shot. He didn't look at the net
Absolutely.
at all. He just knows exactly where that corner is and shoots at it. But after that goal goes in, because he knew immediately, nobody else on the ice did. And he was like this for like 6 seconds before anybody else figured it out. It was so great.
You know who didn't?
And
like that
it's
shot?
awesome. I was like this for like 3 whole minutes afterwards. I was waiting for it to be called back. I was waiting for an offside call or a goalie interference or something. I didn't see any of that, but I was just like, it can't possibly be true. And I kind of just collapsed on the couch in a fetal position for like 15 minutes. How did you guys react?
Well, I was super lucky because I started a new position recently, getting back in the kitchens as a chef. So my schedule's been all over the place. I missed a few games here and there, and I was actually working at the time. So I had my phone kind of like in a little hidden cubby, and it was streaming the game. And I was trying to hide it a little bit, and Chef kept walking by and behind me and looking at me. I just eventually looked at him. I'm like, I'm not turning this off. I hope you know that. And he's just like, who's winning? And it was like in the first period at that point, Dallas is up 1-0. I'm like, fuck Dallas is winning. And then it was back and forth. And all of a sudden my shift was over. And I look at my phone. It's like the second period was just ending. I'm like, oh my God. So I ran downstairs to my locker, got changed super quick. And I started walking home, and I've got like a half-hour walk home. I'm like downtown in Victoria, and then I just kind of I hear out of the corner of my ear, there's sound. I can hear the game on. I'm like, shit, I'm not going to make it home for the third period. And I look over, and there's the tap house on Yates Street, and I'm just like, okay, I'll fucking run in there. And luckily they had the game on with the sound, and there was maybe one group in there. So I'm sitting prime seat in front of the bar. I've got the big screen TV in front of me, and I'm just pounding beers. I think I had 5 beers and 4 shots by the time overtime was over, and I was just wasted. I was by myself screaming in the bar. Yeah, it was a good time.
I was by myself screaming in the man cave. I managed to ruin the ceiling a little bit, which I'll repair, maybe after playoffs. Probably have to wait.
It's too bad you can't pivot the camera. We can see the hole you punched through with your head.
Fuck's sake.
Give yourself a concussion there when you jumped.
Woke up my wife and my daughter, and just created a bit of a scene.
Yeah, basically every Flames fan that I know that has a family, they've said the same thing, that they woke up the entire household when it happened. I mean, that was a huge moment, and that's going to go down in history. That's when the Raps won that series, and it was just who was it? It was Kawhi. And it's the fucking last minute, the buzzer beater.
That fade in the crouch.
Yeah. This is going to go down in Flames 100%. History. It's going to be replayed nonstop.
Yeah.
We were fortunate enough in our lifetimes to witness that as the sea of red. Come on, it doesn't get bigger than that.
That was insane. It was absolutely insane.
Yeah.
The only thing that really, game was missing was having the great Peter Marr actually call it.
Sure. Yeah.
That would have been something else.
I think you said Kelly Hrudey wrong.
Yeah, the great Kelly Hrudey.
No,
the great Kelly Hrudey said that fucking Dallas was going to win that OT.
Yeah, that was bizarre. He was the only one on the panel that picked it.
That's when I knew he lives in Calgary. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, that's you know what? That's a very good point.
He's generally wrong. So
yeah.
I thought it was pretty funny that whoever it was, someone said, "All right, let's pick the winner. We're Canadian broadcast. Let's just pick someone on Calgary that's going to win." was it Kelly or no? I think it was Kevin Bieksa was just like, no. Let's show like a little bit of integrity here. We got to be neutral. Let's pick one from each team. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah. And Elliot Freeman, he is right very often called Gaudreau as the hero.
He did. Yep.
So
yeah. The bar I was at.
And that's.
Go ahead.
I was going to say that moment is made even bigger by the fact that that there's the narrative of Johnny not producing in the playoffs, which is again nonsense. But it's he proved everybody wrong, first of all, and second of all, we're sitting here thinking like, if we don't make the second round, if we don't make a half decent run, that's the last game possibly that Johnny would have played for us. You know what I mean? Quite possibly, maybe not. But if we got eliminated there, like there's a big chance that he would have gone somewhere else. And I'm not saying that he would have. I'm just saying that there's a chance, right?
Yeah.
And that's the fact that he put that away means a lot, I think. Well, and the fact that he had an A on his chest.
Yeah, no kidding. All those things, and then like the 100+ point season he had, like he is going to become a very expensive player, an incredibly expensive player.
I mean, we already knew that he was going to be in the 10 mil realm, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like we see him every night. Okay, we're not one of the other fan bases that don't actually get to enjoy what Johnny Gaudreau can bring to a game. So I mean, I already knew he was making 9.5 to 10.5 to start.
Right.
Yeah.
Obviously, with this season and so far in the playoffs, it's leaning closer to that 10.5, which and rightfully so. He's he sets a modern day record for plus minus.
And 5-on-5 points.
And leads the league in 5-on-5 points over the great fucking McDavid.
Well, he set the new record of the modern era for that as well.
Right.
Yeah.
And
because like he passed Gretzky, he gets
passed up on every
McDavid. Yeah.
He gets passed up on every fucking possible award, which is just sickening to me. But it's what it is, right? I mean, we're a small market. I'd rather people underrate them, to be honest.
Well, and we don't need the awards. We don't need those individual awards. The only thing that matters is the cup.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yep.
I mean, I still think that Lindholm has a good chance at his, but again, it doesn't fucking matter.
And that would be the Selke, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's fair.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm looking at his stats for the playoffs this year. The one thing that I think is completely inaccurate as far as hockeyreference.com is saying that he doesn't even have a hit. And I know I've seen two of them.
Well, you and I sitting in the Saddle Dome, we saw Lindholm hit. Like, I think at one point we were looking at each other like, that's the third big hit he made that day. I don't think he was very physical the rest of the series, but that one day he made 3 big hits in the first period.
Yeah, I'm talking about Johnny's stat there on that. Sorry.
Oh, you're thinking about Johnny. Okay, yeah.
Well,
sorry. I thought
something that he may have made a hit, but sometimes those hit trackers don't count it if the player's already passed the puck away or shot or whatever, and it's kind of like a hit after the fact. Those oftentimes aren't counted, so that could be the case.
But he definitely laid a couple, and like if they're counted or they're not counted, who cares, man? Like he's playing. Yeah. He's playing physical. He's playing the best hockey of his career. He's positionally sound defensively, and he's not floating trying to get pucks. And I wanted to bring this up too, because this is something that hasn't been talked about a whole lot as far as the game last night at Game 7 is concerned. On the game-tying goal, on Tkachuk's goal, the pass from Markstrom to Gaudreau was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
He stretched that out nicely, put it right on his tape, and Johnny just went in and made a nice little drop to Tkachuk and he scored. But that was a really good play by Markstrom.
Yeah, and I mean that game 7, it was clutch from all our guys that haven't really shown up yet in that series so far. We had Chucky get a goal, we had Toffoli get a goal. Both those guys had been cold for all 7 games.
Completely cold.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like MIA.
Exactly.
Well, I can't even say MIA for Toffoli. He's been all around it.
He just wasn't looking good at all. He was
And it's
cold,
like he was
just
aiming
making
for
bad
Ottinger's
plays.
glove a couple times.
Well, I mean, at least he was hitting the net on those shots. Like for the most part, he was just like he was coming in, he was going for a shot, and he just something was up. He's just sending him wide. He kept doing it.
Yeah. No, it's true, right? Yeah, Markstrom with the assist on that tying goal from Matthew, and you could tell it was like grabbing the monkey off his back too. Which I've had that conversation with many people over the last number of years, and everybody always says, well, I wish that Johnny would produce more like Matthew. I'm like, Johnny's always actually produced more than Matthew in the playoffs.
He has
right? So far, right?
Mhm.
So, but it was good to see him, to finally
he's also
actually
like
play like he's on the
4
top
years
line.
older.
Right. Oh yeah. I'm not, there's no slight against Matthew on that. But it was good to see Matthew actually buckle down and play like he's on the top line again.
Right.
Those first, between the first game and the fourth game, he was just too busy trying to be a shithead. You know what I mean? Like, protecting his players, I get it. Coming to the defense, that's great and all. But he's a top line player.
Yeah.
We've got 4, 5, 6 guys that can do that.
Who should have done
in
that?
the past.
Who should have done it. Fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah, and in the past, he had to do that because we didn't have many other guys.
True.
Right? So I kind of get that. And it's also his roots. Like, Keith isn't out there telling Matthew to not get in the tilt. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's in his DNA. Like he's gonna do it.
Yeah.
And if you tell him not to do it, then you're throwing him off his game, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's true. I mean, he's really effective when he's in front of the net and being a pest, obviously. Not as much when he's fighting. He's not a great fighter.
No, he's not a good fighter at all.
And to have one of your top line players in the box for 5, that's a terrible trade-off.
Yep.
To me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, when it's Klingberg, I guess that's somewhat okay because that's their second best defenseman.
Sure.
But when it's was it Raffle?
Yeah.
I think it was Raffle, the other one. It's like what are you doing, man? We need you out. And like he broke his hand or something on it. Like I don't know if he broke his hand, but he hurt himself on it. And like, what are you doing, man? You're taking off nobody.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah, but like Klingberg, like he doesn't even need to be punched in the face that often. He already looks like the fucking guy from the Goonies. Like, hey guys.
Yeah. So I want to ask you guys a question. Who's your like most underrated kind of maybe not hero, but just who had a really good series who hasn't been talked about all that much
Michael Stone.
as far as the Flames are concerned?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Michael Stone had a
Michael
real
Stone.
Yep.
Yep.
He played 11 games through the season,
Something like that. Yeah.
and comes in and plays the last 4 games of playoffs. One of which is playing in Tanev's position, and holy shit, like that's a tall order.
Yes, it is.
That is a tall order. He did great.
He did well.
He really did. Like 4 games in the playoffs with 3 points, a goal, and 2 assists. Babysitting Shillington, for
Bambi.
Right? Holy Christ, that guy just.
He will be a great.
We'll get on that. We'll get on.
Yeah,
that
we'll get on
in
that train in a bit. But I really, I don't have enough good things to say about Stone.
Okay.
Like just an absolute professional.
And the best part about his game is he puts the puck on net. He's not afraid to just wind up, see that lane, and put it there. And that's we need that more from our defensemen.
That's his job, and that's what he says it in interviews all the time. He's like, hey, I'm here for a reason, and that reason is to put my stick way up in the air and slap her right on net, and then get back to the point.
Yep.
Yeah,
and that's what he does, and he does it damn well.
Yep.
And he's
And
good
he
at
actually hits
muscling
the-
guys off the puck. Like
He actually hits the net.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
Like, he hits the net like
he had 8
80%.
shots. I think it was game 5.
Yeah.
He had 8 shots.
I think
in
he had a
that
goal
one
that game too, didn't he?
He did.
Yeah, I think that was the game he had a goal and an
Yeah.
assist.
Yeah, that was the first game we ran. Was it 11 forwards, 7 defensemen, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
had him listed as only 2 shots last night, and I find that hard to believe.
Well, it may have been 2 shots on net because
Yeah.
I mean we had 64 shots on net and it was like 140 shot attempts, right?
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
absolutely
So I don't.
insane.
Yeah, that was pretty nuts, right?
Yeah, I don't think he took as many shots as or tried to take as many shots as he usually does last night, because he was in Tanev's spot, right? So he had to be that, and like
Yeah.
you said, babysitting Shillington, like he had to be
Yep.
more focused on the defensive side, and which he's good at too, right?
Mhm.
Instead of just walking in and taking a slapper all the time, he had to, make sure he had several defensive responsibilities.
Yeah.
Yeah, one thing I don't really enjoy though is watching Zadorov right now in the playoffs. Like he started okay. He started really bad during the regular season. Then him and Gudbranson became our most solid pairing. And now as that series went further, Z just kept he was taking dumb penalties. He was coming out of position. He was jumping in on the rush way more than he should have. Like it, granted, in a game, like he should be jumping in on the rush when he sees fit. But especially like in the games we were losing, like you just see there were rushes that happened coming back that were like one-sided because Z was trying to do something offensively, jumps in the rush, and he would either whiff the net or he would just turn it over. And then he comes back and he goes for those big hits and then he just puts himself out of position like we were worried was going to happen.
Yeah.
And that game is slowly sneaking back into him. And that scares me a little bit.
Especially like, with McDavid coming up here, like
Yeah. We got to play smart. We got to stay out of the box.
I honestly think a little bit of what was happening there with Zadorov is, I believe the players were starting to get frustrated with
Ottinger.
Yeah,
no, that's fair.
And they were trying to mix it up and trying to do new things, trying to solve that puzzle, because holy shit, what a puzzle that was.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, unbelievable.
Let's just stop on that for a sec.
Okay.
Because as far as like goaltending performances in that like I've ever seen, that was just insane. Honestly, Ottinger, like that kid has such a bright future, and he's
hopefully
23 and a rookie, I think.
Yeah.
And he's just he almost made an entire city cry, honestly.
Oh yeah, no, I mean he was unbelievable. I mean, I hope that he has a great career out of it, and hopefully it's not just a flash in the pan type thing.
Yeah, I mean, how many times do we see goalies that have amazing, awesome seasons, and then suddenly they just become like a backup, or not even
all of a sudden they're Carter Hart or Matt
DiPietro or
that's
Andrew
right.
Raycroft.
I was going to say, I call it the Matt Murray effect. The incredible playoff run and the 2 Stanley Cups turned into like possibly the shittiest goalie in the whole league.
Yeah, stealing the net from Fleury, and
he's on Ottawa though. Like he doesn't get a lot of help on that team either.
That's fair, but he's been shit.
Yeah. Actually, when he came back from injury this season, he started playing decent hockey again.
He did.
Really picked it back up.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
That's my only hesitation. I'll give him all the credit he deserves, because that was unreal.
Remember, like Andrew Raycroft had an incredible rookie season, so much so that Toronto trade like a fucking first-round pick in Tuukka Rask.
Yeah,
and they got Raycroft.
Yeah,
and then Raycroft just became one of the worst goalies in the fucking league.
What did Rask end up being? What did he end up doing in his career?
Yeah, he got a couple cups or something like that. I didn't really follow his career too much.
No, that's a shame.
No, he wasn't very good.
Not at all.
Anyways, yeah. So my like underrated player of the series, and obviously Stone is right up there, if not higher. But I was gonna say Backlund because he gets so much fucking hate, and I
Really
know
does.
I am on this podcast all the time talking about how good his defense is and all that, but he came up with some clutch offensive plays. Last night he was a physical force,
That hit at the
and
start of the
he
game, holy shit.
yeah,
That was unreal. That was a
Yeah.
great hit. Exactly what you want to set the tone
absolutely.
with. What was
Yeah.
that, like a
And
minute
he
into the game?
produced and he played great
Mhm.
defensively. And I mean, our team generally had a pretty shit time on the draws for the entire series up until last night when Lindholm had 70%, which is
Oh,
insane.
did he? I didn't even look at that stat.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was so underwhelming to see us basically under 50 for the entire series. I was
Yeah. And Dallas is an elite, like as far as winning faceoffs is concerned. They are an elite team. Like
sure.
they have been all year. They were last year too. Those guys just know how to win faceoffs. So yeah, it's
But
not
you consider they're like
obviously it didn't cost us the series, but what?
right. But you consider their like top line center is Jamie Benn, right? Who doesn't that's not even his natural position. He's a winger.
Right.
He's a left winger. Like that's his
Yeah.
position. And somehow he's figured out a way to get in that circle there, and he just uses his big body to like muscle people off the puck.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
honestly
So
it makes me miss Monahan, because Monahan always, despite the fact that he was terrible on everything else, he was great on the faceoffs.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you look at Lindholm, even like this year, he's making the playoffs so far. He's 53.3,
Yeah.
5 points, 3 goals, 2 assists in 7 games. I mean,
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, with 10 hits, like he's a physical force out there. He's very unassuming.
Yep. He had
Watching-
10 hits today. Wow.
Watching Lindholm can be a little bit frustrating sometimes, because when you focus on him, it almost looks like he's not hustling as much as everyone else. Like he
Right.
does a lot of gliding, a lot of sitting around, and like
But he's looking to get into that area in front of the net, especially when Gaudreau or Kachuk are behind the net. Because I mean, when they get the puck to him, like it's on the net immediately. Right? And
But
he's
then-
so good at finding that spot.
it was watching those games that we lost, and like what stuck out to me was like we need puck possession more. We needed more pucks on net, and this guy was just kind of gliding around. He wasn't pushing to get that extra like possession there. He was just he was still
fair point.
playing his game, which did work in the end, but it was very frustrating to watch for those games we were losing and see.
Fair enough. And I kind of I think a lot of the time with Lindholm, when he is doing the gliding, I thought he may have been like maybe halfway through the series for a couple games there. I thought he may have been dealing with some sort of minor injury, but that's just pure speculation on my part. However, I think a lot of the time with him, he's kind of he's being surreal about it, and I don't mean so much in the offensive zone. I mean in the defensive zone and in the middle of the ice and stuff. He's very much trying to like find a spot that where he's trying to get to where the puck is going to be, not where the puck is, and that's what makes him effective. Yeah.
The one thing, if you look at everything across the board with his faceoffs, because I do like him playing center and taking those draws. One thing that I noticed the day before yesterday, when I was just kind of looking at stupid stats because I'm a geek that way. Short-handed so far in the playoffs, he's 30.8%.
Okay.
Which isn't great because he's our number one. He's our number
What's
one.
Backlund's face-off stats in the playoffs? Because I don't think his are much better.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah, I think
Let's see.
Yarncrock's been our best face-off guy, and he was like over 12 in game 6.
He actually hasn't been super great so far in the playoffs.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like he hasn't been super great, but he
was
one
all
of our best.
Puck in game 7.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he. Though it's funny though, there's that one play in the third where the puck came out to him. He effectively had open net, and I'm just like anybody but him, right? Anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, Backlund, like.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Well,
Is it bad?
Yeah,
It's probably bad, isn't it?
Yeah, it's 45.9 total, right?
Oof.
So even strength, he's at 43.5. Power play is 42.9. Shorthanded, he's 61.1. Thank God, because that's when you need him.
All right, I found I got the list here. Yeah, so Lindholm, our best one is actually Dubé. He's 57%. He's only taken 7 draws though.
I was going to say, how many is he
Yeah,
taking?
Coleman's 100%. He's 1 for 1.
Attaboy.
Let's see who's up next. Next we've got Lindholm at 53.3.
Yeah.
And then it's Backlund at 45.9. Lewis is actually 47.2. And Yarncrocs now our worst. He's 43.2.
Yeah, he's been in
Wow.
the mid
That's
40s
great.
all series.
Yeah, he's 38 for 81. Not great. Not a good look.
No.
I mean, you take 12 off that, it looks a little bit better, but still.
Sure. I want more from him.
Yep. I think we all
really
do.
I mean, what does Michael call him? Iron Fist or something like that? Isn't that
Iron
his name?
Hook.
Iron Hook. That's
Yeah.
what his name
The
translates
old Iron
to.
Hooker.
Iron Hook. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe that was a character on Futurama. It was, for all of you that get that reference.
Right?
The old Iron Hooker.
That's an actual direct translation of it. Iron Croak means Iron Hook.
I didn't quite catch what you said there, but I'm assuming it was Yarncroak means Iron Hook. Yes. All right. Got that one. So to talk about my my underrated playoff hero for the series, I'll set it up with a little bit of story. Last night when I got to the bar, obviously majority of people here in Victoria, they don't know much about Calgary or really follow hockey for that matter. So the bartender, it's in overtime. He comes up to me and he's just like, "Hey, you want to make a side bet here, a little side action? How about I pick who's going to score the OT winner? You pick it. If I'm right, you buy me a beer. You're right, you buy me a beer." I'm like, "Yeah, okay, that sounds like a fair deal." This guy picks Lucic. Obviously, he knew nothing about playoffs. He's like, "Yeah, I'll take Lucic," and then he starts talking to me about him. He's like, "Man, the guy's great. Like, he must play on Calgary's first or second line." I'm just like, "Oh man, you haven't followed this team in a long time, huh?" I start telling him, I'm like, Lucic gets like 8 minutes a game, and he's on the fourth line. It's like, "Oh man, well, whatever." And then Lucic actually had a couple like big chances in that
He had
overtime,
some good looks.
which was awfully sweaty and scary. For myself, though, I picked.
You almost had to buy a beer.
Yeah,
Jeez.
exactly. Myself, I picked Coleman, who is my underrated guy. I just feel like he does everything right. Obviously, he's not getting on the score sheet a whole lot, and that's not his job, right? We brought him in for his experience, to be able to mentor the other guys, and he's just out there and he's just grinding. He's putting in 110% on every shift. You see him fucking hustling. He's always trying to get the puck back, and he's always confident and responsible with the puck when he has it.
Yeah, he is. He takes penalties in weird times.
He does, yes.
Which is unfortunate, but I mean, you can't knock his drive. Like he's always around the puck.
Yeah,
always around it. I'm actually surprised he hasn't been on the score sheet more. He's had some chances. I tell you, I'm waiting for his breakaway because I mean he's got unbelievable speed.
Oh man, speaking of breakaways, that when Pavelski went on the breakaway in overtime, I thought that was it. I'm just like, here we go. Here it is. The Flames killer is about to kill us once again. Yep. And then Markstrom just shut him down. And we were like, oh, baby.
There were 4.
Yeah, it was a little
5
scary.
plays during overtime that I was terrified because of how much zone pressure we had. And in my brain, I'm going, it's going to be something stupid. It's going to be just a weak ass goal, and we're going to lose this shit, and I'm going to fucking lose my mind. Right?
Absolutely.
But Markstrom, credit to you, buddy. Like, oh man, like, yeah, Yeah, but you're right. Pavelski coming in was like, yeah, here it is.
Terrifying.
Son of a
Absolutely
bitch.
terrifying.
He's doing it again. Yeah.
Here's a little quiz question for you. Who do you think is our penalty minute leader right now in the playoffs?
Penalty minute leader.
Yes.
I'm going to say Zadorov with 20 minutes.
You are on the money.
Oh,
It is absolutely Zadorov. I thought it might be Chucky, and I just looked at the stats. No, it's Z. He's got 20 minutes in penalties, and I think he only had that one fighting major, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, that's not a good look. I don't like that at all.
you know what is a good look? Fucking killing somebody in the neutral zone and they don't play the next game.
I was torn on that hit.
Right?
As much as I like seeing that huge hit,
Yeah.
I did personally think it was a little bit of a dirty hit. I thought for sure there was a suspension coming. It looked malicious.
I mean, the result was 100% malicious for sure. I think, and the way player safety described it
Mhm.
is exactly what I thought.
Yep.
Is he didn't extend anything.
Right.
Right. And that's where I think obviously that's what they looked at too. And but as soon as that hit happened, I was like I thought he killed the guy because of the way he went down and
Yeah.
it was bad.
Mhm.
On the replay, I didn't think he had as much head contact.
It looked cool. Am I back? Can you guys hear me?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Did you go? Where'd you go?
Took a little vacay.
Oh, okay.
Uh-oh.
Oh yeah, okay. So
I was just trying to look at yeah. I was trying to internet fix itself.
all right. So yeah, when that hit happened live, I
Yep.
was just like, oh my God. Like,
Mhm.
I mean, we can't do that anymore, right?
I thought I was going to hear
I
it
mean-
from like all my other friends that are like fans of other teams.
I mean, I love those types of hits. I mean, I've been watching Calgary since 1980.
Yep.
And so that sort of stuff gets me excited
Mhm.
a lot. So, I mean, I jumped up and yelled and I was super excited about it. And then I thought about what it is for present day and I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
But the more I watched the replay, I honestly thought that it was a
The way
better
the
hit.
guy fell, like you were saying.
It was the way the guy fell. I don't think he was out with a
Yeah.
concussion. I think
Like-
he's out with a leg injury.
Okay.
Personally, I think he pulled a hamstring on the way he landed.
Yep.
Yeah, there's some.
So I'll ask now.
Yeah, I think Bonus said something like that. Yeah, Rick Bonus said something like that. I think that his it had something to do with his legs. Like he was out on his feet and then he fell and
Yeah.
like did kind of like a weird little split on his knees while he was out. I did it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So who do you think is leading our team in shots? I think you'll be surprised on this one.
In shots,
It's actually
Mike
a tie.
Stone.
I'm gonna go with Gudbranson.
So it's a tie between Johnny, who should be an obvious one, and
Yeah.
Noah Hannafin with
Really?
25.
Fucking
Yeah.
A. Attaboy 55.
Someone said Michael Stone. I think that was you, Dill. He's actually leading shots per game with 4.3 per game.
Yeah.
How many does Gudbranson have?
Oh,
Branson, how many shots we got for good Branson? He's got 19. So he's 6th on the list here.
Wow.
Yeah.
He's got to hit the net more because I mean
there
he's
was
teeing
a
him up a
lot
lot.
of flip balls towards Ottinger in the first 5 games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Well,
actually Lucic. with
Speaking
the
of
least-
weird injuries and stuff like that. Yeah. So I don't know, you guys. I mean, I know Chris watched pretty much everything you can, and I know you've been busy, Ty, but I was watching the last few games of each series, actually, and the Oilers, being that we're coming up on playing them, Draisaitl, he's not 100%, and from what I've been told or what I heard is that it's a high ankle sprain.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
which is like how the fuck can you play hockey with a high ankle sprain? Like I had one of those like 2 years ago, and I couldn't walk. Like fucking insane.
Well, I'm surprised they even disclose that, because normally in the playoffs, like, you can't get any information on what the injuries are. Right?
It certainly didn't come from anybody from the Oilers organization.
Yeah, I think that's more speculation than anything.
I think it is as well. And to answer your question, Dylan, I once a number of years ago played baseball playoffs after breaking my ankle in 3 spots 2 weeks previous to that.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So I mean, it can be done. They come a long ways with braces. I hear Tylenol 3s are great, mixed with perhaps a couple of beverages.
Yeah, you also have to take laxatives when you're taking those.
Right, and then the next day sucks. The next day is not great, but I mean, I did it. Yeah. I mean, with some of the things that these players go through.
Run through all that?
Didn't quite catch that, Dill.
Yeah.
Want to try?
Fuck.
What were you saying there?
I said, do you guys want to run through all of the other series really quick and just kind of do a quick blow by them?
Sure. Yeah, we can do that.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
All right. What do you want to start with?
So how about them fucking Maple Leafs?
Wait, you've been waiting about 40 minutes to say that, huh?
So I'm sorry. Who called the game 7 last?
Well,
I have. But no, I called it. They were going to be up in the series, and they were going to lose the series.
Yep.
That. But yeah, nothing makes me happier other than Johnny Gaudreau overtime playoff goal.
I do feel bad for Gio.
What do you guys think of that one? That was actually a really good series, to be honest.
Yeah, I saw some of it. You know, like I said, I feel bad for Gio. That's the only part of that. And maybe Brody too.
Yeah.
He's got a soft spot for me.
you know, I'm a huge fan of Brody. I always have been.
Yeah.
I don't feel bad for either one of them because
Mm-hmm.
I move on and whatnot.
And whatnot, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. They both wear that blue god awful leaf on the jersey, and I can't stand it. So I mean, I'm indifferent, we'll say it.
It's so bad. So
and
bad.
You know, that being said, I mean, we're talking about a couple of our ex-defensemen, and it wasn't exactly a defensive struggle through that series, right?
I don't think anyone expected it to be, though. I think everyone knew that it was going to be like high-flying, low defense.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. I mean, Tampa has better defense,
and it was
obviously better goaltending.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Vasilevsky just threw on his head Game 7 there. He just took that game. He was just like, this is ours.
Yeah, to hold him to one goal in Game 7 was pretty impressive with that lineup. Yeah.
So what do you think happens to Leaf Nation? Do they make a significant change now?
Yeah, you know what they're going to do? They're going to do the same thing they always fucking do. They're going to make significant changes to the forward core. They're going to trade a couple of forwards for a couple other forwards. And then they're going to go, I can't believe we can't win in playoffs.
And then they're going to trade for a C-graded defenseman, and he's going to be the most overhyped person in the league.
100%. Yeah, 100%.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they've been doing it for forever.
They're going to sign like Alexander or something, and they're going to be like, "Oh my God, this is the year!"
I'm pretty sure Brian Burke started that shit with them. Like, just like
you just did the best Leaf fan impression I've ever heard in my life. Oh my God, this is the year, Alexander.
Yeah. So anyways, so I don't want to spend too much time on Toronto.
I'm not at all surprised.
Yeah.
So should we stick within the same area? We got
one that surprised me. I thought Minnesota was going to win for sure.
Yeah. I honestly thought they would too. There's two reasons why was kind of hesitant, even though I did pick them in my pool. There's two reasons why I was hesitant to pick Minnesota. Number one is Fleury. He's a playoff fucking loser. Has been since the first cup he won, which was 20 years ago. And St. Louis essentially destroyed Minnesota through the season.
That's fair. I actually didn't look into that. I didn't realize that stat at all. I had 3 brackets on the go, and I think I picked Minnesota in 6 on all of them.
Yeah, I mean, I've always been a big fan of Fleury, but like he lost his starting position 3 times so far, 4 times in playoffs.
Yep.
Yeah.
But then so those teams always go deep. And
Talbot was
regaining
lights out when he got put in there. Like,
Who, Did you say Talbot?
Yeah, he said Talbot.
Yeah, no, he wasn't. The only game Talbot played was
well,
game 6 and
throughout
got
the
lit up for
season,
4.
Talbot was really good.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
Mhm.
Yeah, 100%. He was lights out.
Yeah, I
And
don't
then-
understand why they went out and got a goalie.
Well, the reason why they did, one of the main reasons was Talbot had an injury right around the All-Star break.
Plus, Kakinen was kind of unreliable.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Trying not
He
to be
wasn't
a
great.
jerk. No,
But
exactly.
still young too. But
I mean, I don't think they needed Fleury at all. I think they would have had a better result had Talbot been the guy to play through the series, personally.
I
But yeah,
agree.
I mean, Talbot hadn't played in, I think, 5 weeks, 4 weeks for sure, and then they just throw him into that game 6 with no help in front of him, nothing. It was horrendous. I felt really bad for him.
I mean, we did that to Riddick a few years ago, right?
Correct.
Yeah, we just played Talbot all the way through, and then Talbot had one bad game, and it was an elimination game. And we throw Riddick in there, and of course, what happened?
Like midway
It
through the
wasn't
game, Riddick was on the ice with brand new equipment that hadn't been worked in
Exactly.
yet.
Yeah.
It's like, who buys fucking brand new equipment in the playoffs?
And then we shipped him off for a 3rd rounder.
Fuck's
Like,
sake.
see ya.
I mean,
And-
not
and
that he
there's
really
Talbot
helped.
getting called into the
You know, speaking of Riddick, not that it
there's
really
Talbot
helped
getting
him
called
to.
into this game a couple weeks ago. And wow,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah. And then of course, you got Riddick, who's in Nashville. I mean, he didn't really get to play there, but
Oh, I
What-
mean, he
what a
played. He
waste of-
started.
what a waste of 8 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Suter said it. Sutter said it. Not Suter. Suter was busy with us.
Suter had his
it
hand
was
full with
7
us.
days. 2 days.
It was 7 days. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
They
obviously,
lost that one in 7 days.
everybody on the planet knew that was going 4 games only, right? I mean, that was just unfair for Nashville.
And I mean, we got a little taste of Ingram too, so it was good to see the kid in there with some like high pressure games and see
Mhm.
how he responded. And he did have a couple like pretty good games. Like he brought them to overtime one time, didn't he?
yeah, double overtime, I believe.
Yeah, he had one really, really good game.
Right.
No, exactly. I mean, it's
But yeah, Colorado, that one.
yeah, exactly. So,
And Edmonton, LA.
do we talk
What
about
do you guys
those?
think of that one?
You know what? I want my money back on that series.
That's fair.
I honestly thought LA was going to take it, and it was.
I did
it was
too.
Goddamn close.
Yep.
If Quick was a difference maker, Kopitar has still got it.
Yeah, Kopitar is just Kopitarded. He's just skating circles around people, just
I know.
face offs.
He's
Incredible.
just so quiet during the game. Like you just don't even realize he's
Yep.
there. He's
Mhm.
just all over the place. Dustin Brown, knowing that he was about to retire, looked like he really wanted a second round. Like, he really tried.
I think he played the best hockey he's played in like maybe 5 years.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I was happy to see Dustin. But I mean,
Mhm.
I kind of followed the Kings for a while after Darryl moved there, And
Yeah.
so I became kind of, I wouldn't say a fan per se, but
A follower.
a follower. Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
Keeping an eye on him.
and Dustin Brown, I mean, he can change a series, right? Like the way he used to play, he's tough as fuck.
I think the guy that stood out for me with LA was Adrian Kempe.
Sure.
I thought he was
I
awesome.
was gonna say Kempe was fucking
Yeah.
lights out
Yeah.
with that series,
Yeah, he really was.
but
But
Yeah,
at
I
the end
definitely
of the
had
day, it wasn't
doing
gonna. Yeah, it wasn't gonna happen with LA. There's just too much firepower, and Quick is how old is Quick now? 30, 36, 38?
67, something
Yeah.
like that, you know.
Yeah, I thought
Yeah.
he retired twice.
He had a couple of really good games.
It's like fucking Brett Favre. He just won't go away.
Yeah. Well, he goes back and forth. Like last season, he had
Yeah.
a horrendous season. It was bad.
Yeah.
And then, everyone thought it was going to be Peterson's year to take over the net. And
I totally thought
no,
it
I'm
was.
not quite done yet.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, he played really well in a few of those games.
Yeah.
So
You know,
good for him, but it is going to be Peterson's net in the.
I
pretty
I
soon.
would think as soon as next year, right?
Well, I mean, anything could happen. We also thought, well, I shouldn't say we, but the majority of people thought it was also going to be Jack Campbell's net. And then they pulled a fast one and a quick one, I should say, and they flipped him to Toronto. And then they're just like, no, we got this Peterson guy instead. Like,
Yeah.
never know. They might have someone else in the pipeline that they think is a better fit. So who knows? Peterson could be the next.
I tell you what, if they bring somebody else up over him, I mean that just shows you what they think of him.
Yep.
He's-
I feel like that's kind of where Calgary's headed because we have like quite a few really good goalie prospects, and there's going to come a point where they're going to have to choose. And I mean, I'm pretty sure they're going to choose Wolf.
Oh, it's Wolf,
But
100%.
There, I mean, Chechelev's doing really good, and I'm not even going to try and say the other guy's name. I can't remember, but it's a couple of them are doing really good, and that's kind of where I see it heading. You know, we're gonna have to flip a goalie prospect or two, I think, in the next couple of years.
Well, I
that's
think that's okay though. That's a good problem to have.
the exact
Oh,
words I was
absolutely.
about to say, Ty. Thanks. God, you stole my thunder again, bud.
Just keep putting words in my mouth, stealing my sandwiches.
It's right. So what does that bring us to? Rangers in Pittsburgh. Sid the Kid couldn't get it done, but he was sure angry
Nope.
about the end of that game 7, wasn't he?
Yeah, a couple of my brackets, I have Rangers going to the finals.
So I agree with him. That's a stupid fucking rule.
Yep.
The helmet rule?
Rips the helmet off.
Yeah.
I mean, smart on Lafreniere for doing it. Like that. It's his sophomore year, and he has the know-it-all to do that. Awesome. Good on him.
You got to get it. You got to get a punch in on the way out, though.
Yeah, fair enough.
You can't just let that go.
Yeah.
Not penalized.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
it's
They can pay for doing
No,
that.
when did they? Was this the first year for that helmet shit? Or was it last
No,
year?
it's been a couple years now, I think.
Has it? It's
Yeah.
the dumbest fucking
I
thing I've ever
think
heard.
it was last year.
Right.
I
It's-
don't like it.
I get it. They're trying to protect the players and shit, but like it, you shouldn't ever have to just stop what you're doing. Like finish the play. You know what I mean? You should
These-
be able to finish the play,
Hmm.
and then go get your helmet. But like,
But
yeah.
that's the problem. They can't
I
even
don't know.
just go get their helmet. They have to leave the ice. Allow them to go grab their helmet.
Yeah.
These guys are professionals at putting on their own equipment. Their moms and dads don't tie their fucking skates anymore. They
Well,
can put on their own helmet.
You hope so.
In
Right?
the case of what happened with
Yeah.
Lafreniere, shouldn't that technically be considered a delay of game? Should that not be a penalty?
I think so.
Yeah.
If you
So-
purposely do something like that, yeah, 100%.
Yeah, so that could have been a missed
absolutely.
call.
Absolutely.
Put that on the
Yeah.
refs then.
It's no
mean-
different than
But I mean,
taking somebody's stick out of their hand. Right?
right.
Yep.
Yeah. I just think it's the dumbest thing. It really is. You know, the helmet comes off, so you have to skate off the ice.
Or
Like,
or I
holy
would
shit.
consider it up there with like the goalie like knocking the goal off the fucking standings and
Right.
getting a whistle. Like if you do it intentionally, you get penalized for that.
That's delay of game.
Yeah, exactly.
100%.
Yeah.
Okay, right. I also don't like
that
the
series.
trapezoid
I'm
either, but
gonna say I think that. Yeah, me neither. But that series, I think that was my favorite series to
Oh yeah.
watch outside of obviously the Flames, which I didn't honestly like that. For me, the Flame series was so stressful. I barely enjoyed half of it. But I mean, obviously I enjoyed it. But that Ranger series was fucking nuts. They were down 3-1 and ended up winning the series. There was one game they were down 3-0, and then literally less than 3 minutes later, it was like 2 minutes and 40 seconds later, it was 4-4.
yeah.
Like,
And in similar fashion to us,
the
like
scoring spurts in that series was nuts.
Yeah, in similar
What's
fashion to us, it was their superstar, the guy they rely on, the guy they gave the most money to, Panarin, in overtime that finished it off for him. So,
Yeah.
that's what you pay
Yeah,
these guys
absolutely.
for, and it's actually going and showing up this year.
Exactly.
So
Yep.
I heard somebody say a couple days ago that the cup is Carolina's to lose at this point.
What?
What do you think to that?
I mean, they're a good team, but I don't see them getting past Florida or Tampa or New York.
I can see them getting past New York. I don't see them getting past Florida or Tampa.
Yeah, I was gonna say I could see them easily getting past New York.
I have New York going to the finals in 2 out of 3 of my brackets. Like, I still believe I've got strong faith in that Shesterkin guy.
Yeah,
Like,
but you also have 5 points total for the series, so I'm not gonna believe anything you say now.
Okay, the story behind that is normally NCAA March Madness brackets. They ask you to put how many points it's going to be for the final game for the tiebreaker. I thought that was the case. Didn't read it fully. I've got 5 games total in the final series.
Yeah, 5 points for the whole series.
You know what? It's for the tiebreaker. It's fine. It's fine. I don't need a tiebreaker.
Some incredible defense and goaltending in that series, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And it's going 7 games.
Funny.
Wait a minute. Yeah. So, all right. So Carolina and Boston. What do you think? I mean, another game 7, right? We had a lot of game 7s in round 1.
That went
nice.
a lot harder than I thought it would.
Yeah.
I think I had that one in 5.
To be perfectly
I
honest,
think-
I didn't pay attention to that series at all. Like, that
Really?
was the back of my mind.
Carolina's good.
Oh, I know they're good. I just, they're not a team that stands out to me as something that's interesting to watch, and same with Boston.
Yeah, fair enough.
So when I was
sure.
in Calgary, visiting you, Chris, one of the people I was staying with, they are a Boston fan.
Yeah.
So I got to watch a couple of their games like fully, and
Got to or had to?
That was a pretty hectic series, man.
Had
Well,
to.
No, actually, you know what? Those games were pretty good. Those games were actually pretty good.
No, they would have been good.
And
Actually,
honestly,
I watched
Boston
bit
as
of
a
them
team
too.
outside Marchand, I like them.
I know
Yeah.
you're very anti Marchand. I would fucking love to have him on my team, but
Right.
But that's just me. I like some ignorance on the ice.
It could be Bergeron's last game, like last year. He's talked about that, the way he kind of went off the ice there and he stayed on the ice to shake all of his own players' hands on the way out.
Yeah.
It kind of looks
Well,
like
he
made
hugged
it look
them too, yeah.
Yeah, he made it look like that's the case for sure.
Yeah, and he's just one of the best players in the league, like gentlemanly wise. Like he's
So do they
professional.
do they change the name of the trophy for him?
yeah, the Bergeron Trophy.
Bergeron?
I mean, why not?
I think they probably change a couple of them in the near future. Half most of the NHL fan base has no fucking idea who Ted Lindsay is. You know what I mean?
Right.
Or
Well,
Frank Selke, right?
Then most of the fan base should fucking Google it. It takes fucking 12 seconds.
I would say Ted Lindsay's pretty familiar, especially with because he only passed away a few years ago. So there was all those like memorial videos and everything. So I think it's fresher in people's minds than most people realize.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, I know who these guys are, but I think a lot of the younger fan base is like, who the fuck's this? Why is there a trophy named after them? And you're right, you should go look it up and see why, right? But
I
do think that's kind of
I do think that, obviously you need to change it for the current. I get that, but I also am a true believer that if you're gonna watch a sport, look into the sport a little bit.
Just
I mean,
like you were like milking a
Yeah.
cow there for a
I
little
was, just
just the utters.
yeah. That's utterly
Just-
ridiculous.
Oh God.
Boom. But I've always said that about any sport, right? If you're gonna get involved in or invest your time in watching a sport and becoming a fan of a team, look into the team's history, look into the sport's history, and
Right.
and you'll learn a lot from it. You'll get to
agreed.
you'll get to see a different side of the sport, because obviously the way sport is now, it's way different than the way sport was 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40, whatever.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's always worth a trip down what I would call memory lane. But just a trip down to know where those roots come from. Find out why they allow fighting in hockey.
I mean, there's certain aspects, and I do understand that for the most part, but like at the end of the day, it's just the name of a trophy, and I'm part of that younger generation that just doesn't really care.
Well, and like I said, I just mentioned that we should change the name of that trophy to the Bergeron.
Yeah.
Right? Because of how many times he fucking won it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right?
I mean, I remember working in Banff, and like at the hotel there, we got like these super old rooms. Like we got the Van Horn room, and like someone said, okay, this is the Van Horn ballroom. And I'm like, okay, cool. And then they asked me like, do you want to know who Van Horn is? I'm like, no, I don't really care.
So the main reason for my point there is I do believe you should change the trophies to relevant if somebody is deserving of it.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I don't believe we should change the name of the trophy just because people won't know who that person is.
Right.
Like, I think that's a weird
Right.
reason.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's all I'm saying. Like if somebody completely deserving, like a Bergeron, of having that trophy changed to his name, 100%.
Totally. Yep.
Yeah. But we're not
You
going to
won it
change the
several
Norris
times,
to the
like Bergeron and like I was in Lidstrom.
Yeah.
Yep.
We're not changing the Norris to the Geo because
But
he
you
won
could
it 1
change
year.
it to Lidstrom.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good.
I mean, again, like for myself, like I don't even know who Norris was. I had never bothered to look it up. I just knew it as the name of the trophy. I'm just like, okay, Norris Trophy. Sure, that's for defense.
It's
Got
the
it.
Norris.
That's all I need to know.
Yeah.
I was at the pub watching game 4. Yeah, I think it was game 4.
Gets all hazy when you're at the pub, you know.
This whole week and a bit has been pretty fucking hazy. Not gonna lie.
Speaking of which, put it on record. Chris Ruback apparently does not get hangovers. Believe that or not.
Cheers.
Apparently a freak of nature.
Yeah, it's been actually quite nice. Not gonna lie. They're showing a clip in between plays there, a clip from the 80s, and on the screen it showed the Smythe division, right? And the guy sitting next to me.
Yeah.
What the fuck is this Smythe? Dude, come on now.
Yeah, the other one was the Campbell division, wasn't it?
Yeah. Before, like 10 minutes before that, he gave me the I've been a fan of the Flames since 1982. Like,
And you
division.
Don't know what this might have been. Okay.
Yeah, it really made me chuckle.
Yeah, that's fair.
So
It's like what the fuck is a Smythe division?
So I think the only one we haven't covered so far is the Florida and Washington series.
I think
Yeah.
you mean the
I think
Florida
that's the only
Sam
one we haven't
Bennett.
done yet.
I believe
It was-
that's they've
It was
been
the
renamed.
Bennett kicking Ovechkin's ass series. Rock and roll, dude.
Yeah, it was the Florida Bennetts versus the
Basically.
Washington Wilsons.
They had 2 games going to overtime. Well, double and triple overtime.
Yeah.
No. That's completely false.
Just making up stuff, and I'm disagreeing with you just because
Yeah.
I don't know any better.
Right? Yeah. No, that's 100% false, and I apologize. Sorry, everybody.
Oh my god,
Fucking hell.
can't
Gonna
trust
say, I
anything
think
these
the
days.
only triple overtime was New York.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I tried to watch, but then all of a sudden, like it's going so late, the Flames game came out. I'm like, as exciting as this is, I'm not choosing this over top of
Right?
Calgary Dallas. Come on.
Yeah.
Well, Chris and I were watching that game at the pub before we went to the game. And we watched the entire game. And I think just at the end of the game, they had the New York game up on a TV above where we were sitting. So
Right.
like when
Oh,
there
right.
was no
Yeah.
play going on or whatever, you could look up and at it. And
Oh, cool.
the game was still on, like after our game was done, I think, or at least very close
Yeah.
to it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you could have left the pub, gone to the Saddle Dome, watched the game, and then gone back to that same pub and seen the end of the game.
Right?
Probably, yeah.
That was for game 2.
Yeah.
Wasn't it, Tom?
But yeah, the Florida series, I went a lot further than I thought. I thought Florida was going to roll them, but
Yeah,
again,
I
they
had it
don't
as sweep.
have a lot of playoff experience.
That's fair, yeah.
No, they don't. But I tell you what, they've got a lot of fucking offense.
I mean, they do have Radko Gudas, who literally played on Washington's Stanley Cup winning team. Like he probably had a couple little insights there to share with the boys.
Yeah, but that's the thing,
for
right?
sure.
I mean, it's good to build your team around that experience,
Mhm.
but you also need more than one of them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you need guys like look at the way Calgary's built right now with what Sutter brought in with his ex posse. You know what I mean? You know, Luch was already here,
Yeah.
and but I mean, Lewis, who has just been a fucking playoff beast, but
He really has. He's really not made any mistakes.
he really hasn't.
I mean, we gave them our best playoff performer,
That's true.
Mr. Sam Bennett, who Dylan
Dylan.
loves.
Dylan, do you want to continue on with that conversation? Anything to add to that?
About Sam Bennett,
Yeah.
I don't know who he is.
I think you just threw up in your mouth a little bit, didn't you?
You have to explain better.
Even in his head, it went, wah, wah,
Second best
wah.
mustache in Calgary history.
True. Yeah, true. Yeah, that's
What
really all
a
I got.
waste of a fourth over.
He's just
fourth
dying
overall pick.
inside.
Yes, it's great. So, all right.
What
So
a complete waste of a
Washington
fourth overall
Washington
pick.
shit the bed with the greatest scorer of all time, which before closing, I want to bring up the fact that I think it's fantastic that Edmonton has to pay
Lucic,
700,000 for
750K, yeah.
for Lucic to kick their own ass.
Yep.
It's pretty awesome.
I'm so fucking excited about that.
Like, is James Neal still playing? Is he somewhere? Who knows?
I don't know. You think he's in Switzerland or something now? I don't know where the fuck he is.
Oh, I hear
I-
the chocolate.
No,
is
he's in
great
the
there.
AHL.
I know
Oh.
he's in the HL. Fucking
He's in the AHL, and I think he was having some scoring troubles in the. I read
didn't he get
A,
benched a game in the AHL?
article about it a couple months ago. Something like that. Yeah.
Well, when you act like a whiny little bitch, that's just kind of what happens.
Yeah, float around. Imagine him under Sutter, the way he just floated, waiting for
Well, Sutter would have
fucking
fucking
passes and shit.
yeah. He wouldn't have been happy watching games.
Okay.
Sutter would not have played that.
Yeah,
Sutter would not have allowed that.
he would have been chilling with Monahan. Actually, he probably wouldn't even have been allowed in the press box. He probably would have been told to go to the pub and watch there.
He would have been chilling at the Dome with Jerome. You know what I'm saying?
So, do we think Monahan pulls a Kucherov and he comes back, like maybe in the final series.
I mean, if he does, that'd be pretty neat.
He comes back and he is the Monahan of old who just disappears in the playoffs.
I mean,
that would be pretty funny.
It would be
Shows
nice.
up,
It's a
does
great
nothing. Great.
He's like, that surgery is going to take all summer to heal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's.
Yeah, I don't think
They
all
don't
next
even
season to
think he's going to be back next year.
You know, I'm not gonna lie. That was a pretty cool moment though when Johnny was going through the tunnel and Sean was there for that hug. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, his mom posted too. She was just like, I cried when I found out he got the A. I cried when he scored the game winner there. Yeah. She's like, but I was bawling when I saw Sean meet him in the hallway there.
Yeah.
And I turned 48 in a couple of days. Sorry, I turned 48 in a day or two, and I'm totally okay with admitting that I actually had a tear in my eye as well. It actually choked me up a little bit. I'm like, you know what? That's actually pretty cool.
Jesus, you're old as dirt.
Yeah.
You're right in the history books when you were in class.
Oh yeah, I mean, I am the history book.
Smite the vision. What do you know?
Practically prehistoric at this point.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, no, I was listening to a interview with Tree Living on 960 today, and was saying that when he got down, after the game, when he got down to see the boys after the game yesterday, he said Monahan was sweating more than anybody else because he was sitting there watching the game like we all were.
He's probably high on Percocets too. The fact he was able to walk around there.
All right.
Yeah. So before we wrap this up, we've got what, 4 series left?
Something like that. There's only one important one though.
I know. Ty? Battle of Florida State. Who wins it?
I believe I have the Panthers moving on. I think
Dylan?
Yeah, Panthers in 6.
6? Okay. I think that's going to 7.
Fair enough.
I'm gonna say 7 as well for Florida.
Okay, no one's picking Tampa. Right on. I dig it.
No. They had their run. They did their job. Their job was only to knock out Toronto. They've done it. That's time for them to move on. Other East Division matchup. We got Rangers at Carolina. Ty, who you got?
Rangers in 6.
Dylan.
Carolina in 5.
Fuck you. You can't take my answer. I will go Carolina in 6 then.
I like being the dark horse on this one. Makes it interesting.
Right? Well, you did say that in 3 of your brackets, you got the Rangers going to the final.
Yeah, 2 of 3.
All right. So then we have that. We have the matchup. Whoever wins this matchup is going to play the Flames. Got St. Louis and Colorado. Who you got, Ty?
In my heart, I want to pick St. Louis. I do think they will challenge and it will go to 7, but it's going to be Colorado.
Okay. Dylan.
I've got Colorado. I'm struggling between 5 and 6 for Colorado. I think that St. Louis has enough in them to win a game or two, but I don't know if 1 or 2. 6.
6? Okay. I think they have enough to win 4. I have St. Louis in 6.
In 6? Okay.
Yeah.
Enough to win 4?
Is Kemper still hurt?
Yeah, 4 games because they're going to win it in 6 games.
Yeah, okay.
He might be able to be back for this, but we don't know yet.
Okay.
All right. Which brings us back to the one that we're going to be focusing on. We've got that steaming pile up north in the Calgary Flames. Who you got, Ty?
Oil in 5. I mean, no, sorry. Yeah, Flames in 5. I'm going on mute.
I think Flames.
All right,
six.
Ty's
I
done
think,
for the night.
David's gonna, yeah, McDavid's gonna take 2 games on his own shoulders and win them, but I don't think that Smith and the Oilers' absolute shit ass defense is going to be able to handle the amount of shots and the amount of offense we can put up.
I mean, as long as we don't try to make it a spectacle,
So,
we just focus
6.
on hockey.
100%.
Yeah.
That's that Kachuk thing I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But you know they're going to turn it into a spectacle. You know it's going to get stupid and
There'll be a couple of ugly moments for sure.
Yeah.
You know, the Battle of Alberta is going to be really weighing heavy on a few players on both sides.
yeah, Daryl is just going to have his fist up to Zadorov, just using him like a puppet and like,
Yeah.
don't you
Fucking
dare
knock it
fucking take
off.
another penalty.
Yeah, go ahead and run over Draisaitl, but don't take a penalty. Yeah. All right, so sorry, Ty. You said what was your
5 alive, baby. 5 alive.
okay, Dylan?
I got 6.
6. I think we're gonna win it at home in Game 5 as well.
There's
Okay.
going to be some violence. There's going to be some fans fighting.
I was just gonna say, and that's just in the concourse.
Yeah. I'll punch an Oilers fan. I don't care.
You know what? Make the world a
I
better
don't
place.
know.
Punch an Oilers fan.
The thing is like if Draisaitl, if they can get on Draisaitl and they don't want him to go out and like get out of position Draisaitl or make too much of a point of doing it, but like if they finish their checks on Draisaitl, I honestly think that guy, just from watching him in the last
Pissy.
couple games that I watched of theirs, I think he's like a light breeze. Like I think Johnny Gaudreau could go over there and give him a cross check and he'd just fall over and break.
I think it'd be great if Johnny Gaudreau took him out.
I mean,
For
but
the
at
amount of
the
cheap
same
shots
time,
that Leon has given Johnny over the years,
Yeah.
I think it'd be great if Johnny just
Yeah.
rubbed him into the boards and took him out for a game-winning goal.
but at the same time, like the game's not till Wednesday. So if it is something like a high ankle sprain, that's going to be almost entirely healed by that point.
But
Like-
4 days?
No, those take a lot longer.
That's like 4 weeks.
Well,
but yeah,
For an average
I
person,
mean,
they take a
mine
lot
took
longer.
a lot longer.
but not for a god like Draisaitl.
Well, no, for like a professional athlete who's got a full on like
I know what you mean.
reflexologist, he's probably got like everything you need. He's going to heal quick. He's going to be back to his normal self. I can almost guarantee it.
Not
as
after
long as we-
Zadorov runs him over. It's not. Branson's gonna. It's gonna Battle of Alberta, baby.
They call it, if it is a high ankle sprain, if you think about it, Johnny Gaudreau is about at the Johnny
Right.
Gaudreau's like hands.
As
are
he skates
about
by,
at
he
the
just
level
goes,
of
"Ow."
Draisaitl's ankle, so he could just cross check him right in the.
I think he just
Yeah.
takes a bite out of it on his way by. Fuck it. You know, and then everybody be talking, be like, "Oh, he's just like Marchand, licking people and biting people."
Well, on that note,
On that note, I mean, that silence that works. It was great. So, one more day. I mean, obviously, there's games going on tomorrow, but
Johnny Gaudreau potted that.
yeah, one more day to wait and stew
Yeah.
and get excited about Battle of Alberta round 2, 2022. Holy shit. It's fantastic. This province of Alberta, I know you guys aren't in it. That's fine. But this province needed this series.
Red Deer will be lost in the conflict.
It's fine. Red Deer is
it's
Red
not going
Deer
to
has been a-
exist.
Red Deer's kind of been a redheaded stepchild since since the beginning.
Yeah.
So that's fine. We're okay with that. We will rebuild.
Banff's going to be like Switzerland, where there's just like, there's going to be a rule right at the gate, no fighting allowed inside.
Here's your joint. Come on to the mountains or something like that.
exactly.
Right? Chillax. Yeah. No, it's
Come
gonna
on
be
in.
great.
We have marijuana, we have
gonna be
alcohol,
great.
and loose women. Let's go.
The pubs are going to be fucking phenomenal. If you are in the Calgary or Edmonton area, I highly suggest going and checking out a pub that was able to stick it out through COVID, because I tell you what, they can sure use you right now.
It's worth the risk.
And this is the time. Like it's time to start making up for it. Let's go out and spend $200, $300, $400, $500 at the pub.
Yeah,
Right fucking
1991
now.
was the last time this happened, and like the
100%.
teams back then were not the same quality they are now.
No, let's make it happen. Yeah, let's have a good time out there, everybody. Everybody stay safe. Ooh. And yeah, let's get through it. It's going to be a good time. Flames
Absolutely.
in 5. Fuck the Oilers.
Yep. And if we don't win, we're disbanding this podcast. That's it. We're not. I was joking.
Okay. I mean, I'm not worried about it anyways. Cheers.
Cheers.